When in the awareness of ourselves, we are made to think that we are separated from God and look outside of ourselves to use certain things to reunite us. But to be made in his image, a thing God did that cannot be lost because he didn't leave it in our hands to do it. He was made in us. We were not made in him. We get lost. He doesn't. So being made in his image, Genesis 2:7, breath of life, spirit, living soul, mind, made in two parts. We have him in us always. So the deception of thinking I have to use things to reunite us is false. That's why Satan has you grabbling after stuff that only puts you further. See, because what God is trying to do is bring you back alone by yourself with him without the assistance of other things that are superficial. Okay. We have him in us always. Now, the separation from God is what we lack in. The separation from God is what we lack in, back to the word, awareness and consciousness. God exists, but we lack consciousness of the fact. All right, I'm through. I'm gone. Oh, you want more? Uh-oh. God exists, but we lack consciousness of the fact. Listen, to the degree that matters or is a matter of fact. See, we can be conscious of God, of his existence, but are we conscious of God in fact, or where it matters the most in my life? I know God exists, but is it a fact that he exists in my finances? Is it a fact that he exists in my healing? See, the consciousness of God's existence doesn't always address the fact that matters in my life. See, I can know that God exists, but I'm struggling with the fact that do I matter? Is what I'm going through really his concern? Is where I'm at God really going to get me out of it? See, because here, notice the language is still keeping him apart from me. When I understand that if I'm in it, he is too. So whatever he's going to tell me is to get me out and him too. Because as long as I'm in this trouble, he's in it. Why? Because he's in me. And he wants to be free from this situation just as much as you want to be. But here the thing it is, you are still reaching to find God outside. Or don't realize that most of what he's telling you from the inside is the correct information. Here is the way. But you're looking somewhere else for it. And while you're looking somewhere else, that which is on the inside trying to take. So this. I told you it can be scary when we really start dealing with awareness, consciousness, and subconsciousness. It can become scary when you start dealing with evolution of consciousness. Because evolution of consciousness is taking information, evolving it from a lower state of living to a higher state of living. In other words, while the information resides on the inside of me, I'm in the mud. But the information evolves itself and starts to inform me what to do. to move me. But if I'm still reaching for Sister Clark, help me. Sometimes the help outside is not what. That's why God told Lot, notice the thing on the inside of him, speaking to him about information pertaining to his life, said, now that you got rid of what's outside of you. Now you can listen better to what's on the inside of you. And look out now and see all that you can have. See, you had to get rid of your trouble to discover your information. Yeah. Crystal, stay with me. Listen, God exists, but we lack consciousness of that fact to the degree that matters or is a matter of fact. So his word that we read brings us back to a fact that always existed, but now hearing we are made aware of to do something about it. God always existed with us. We were conscious, we were unconscious to the fact. We don't leave God, we leave the voice. We don't leave God, we leave the voice of God, his word, the consciousness of his existence. God help me. See, when I read his word, I'm conscious of his existence that always was. His word had to let me know it. Which means what existed was always there. I just need something to make me aware of it. So the fact of the matter, Keisha, is we don't leave God. We just leave the voice of God, his word. Are y'all in here? Amen. Though a person is unconscious does not mean that they don't exist. It just means there is a loss of awareness. God help me walking until he is brought back around. Question is, does God's word bring God to us or makes us aware of what already is?